Imagine a world without humans. A world not merely devoid of our cities and our clamor, but one utterly alien to our very concept of existence. Picture a vast, sun-drenched plain, shimmering under a sky that might once have known different hues. The air is thick, humid, carrying the scent of ancient ferns and primordial forests. A tremor runs through the ground, a low thrum that vibrates up through the soles of our imagined feet. Then, a shadow falls, immense and terrifyingly swift. A colossal head, adorned with serrated teeth, emerges from the dense foliage, eyes like burning amber fixed on some unseen quarry. This is not a creature of myth or nightmare. This is the Tyrannosaurus Rex sovereign of its age, a magnificent, terrifying embodiment of power that ruled an Earth utterly distinct from our own, an Earth that belonged unequivocally to the dinosaurs. Before the first flicker of human consciousness, before the whisper of our species across the savannas, for an epoch spanning hundreds of millions of years, these magnificent beings held dominion, shaping landscapes, evolving into forms of breathtaking diversity, and leaving an indelible mark on the very fabric of our planet's history. To truly comprehend the grandeur of the dinosaur age, we must first journey back through time, not merely centuries or millennia, but across the vast, incomprehensible expanse of geological deep time. Our story begins long before the dinosaurs, in a world that had only just begun to recover from the most devastating extinction event Earth has ever known. The Permian-Triassic extinction, often referred to as the Great Dying. Around 252 million years ago, a cataclysmic series of volcanic eruptions in Siberia unleashed untold quantities of greenhouse gases, acidifying oceans, poisoning the atmosphere, and wiping out over 90% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. The slate was wiped almost clean, leaving behind a world ripe for new forms of life to emerge and diversify. It was into this crucible of recovery that the archosaurs, a group of reptiles that included ancestors of crocodiles, pterosaurs, and dinosaurs, began their ascent. The supercontinent of Pangaea dominated the globe, a single immense landmass stretching from pole to pole, creating vast interior deserts and influencing global climate patterns. The stage was set not for a single act, but for an epic drama that would unfold over three distinct geological periods: the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous, each witnessing the rise, reign, and eventual transformation of these incredible creatures. The Triassic period, spanning from roughly 252 to 201 million years ago, was the dawn of the dinosaur age, a time of slow but profound evolutionary innovation. Initially, the world was dominated by other archosaurs, the crocodile-like phytosaurs, the heavily armored etosaurs, and the formidable Rauisuchians, apex predators that rivaled and often surpassed the early dinosaurs in size and ferocity. The first true dinosaurs were relatively small, agile creatures, often bipedal and lightly built. Among them were species like Eoraptor and Herrerasaurus, discovered in the ancient river valleys of what is now Argentina. These were not the giants of later periods, but nimble hunters, perhaps no larger than a human, living in the shadow of their larger reptilian cousins. Their advantage lay in their posture, a fully upright gait, unlike the sprawling stance of other reptiles, allowed for more efficient locomotion and respiration, granting them an edge in endurance and agility. As the Triassic wore on, the first true sauropodomorphs, the ancestors of the long-necked giants, began to appear, such as Plateosaurus, a large herbivore that could walk on 2 legs or 4. The climate was generally hot and dry, with distinct monsoon seasons, and the flora was dominated by conifers, cycads, and ferns, creating vast, uniform landscapes across Pangaea. The end of the Triassic brought another extinction event, less severe than the Permian but still significant, which cleared the way for the dinosaurs to finally step out of the shadows. The reasons for this extinction are still debated, But volcanic activity associated with the breakup of Pangaea played a crucial role, allowing the dinosaurs, perhaps better adapted to the changing conditions, to become the dominant terrestrial vertebrates. With the advent of the Jurassic period, from approximately 201 to 145 million years ago, the dinosaurs truly began their ascent to unparalleled majesty. Pangaea continued its slow fragmentation, creating new coastlines, inland seas, and varied climates that fostered an explosion of biodiversity. This was the golden age of the sauropods, the colossal long-necked, long-tailed herbivores that roamed the earth in vast herds, stripping forests bare with their sheer bulk. Imagine the ground trembling under the synchronized footsteps of a herd of Brachiosaurus, their heads reaching an astonishing 40 feet into the air, or the immense whip-like tails of Diplodocus swishing through the undergrowth. These titans, some weighing as much as 80 tons, developed extraordinary adaptations to support their immense frames, including hollowed-out vertebrae and a unique respiratory system. Their sheer size was their primary defense against the formidable predators of the Jurassic. Among these predators, Allosaurus reigned supreme across the ancient floodplains of North America, a powerful, agile carnivore with a gaping maw filled with razor-sharp teeth. Megalosaurus prowled the lands of Europe, while the enigmatic Spinosaurus, with its distinctive sail, began its evolution in what would become North Africa. The world was lush and green, with vast forests of conifers, ferns, and ginkgos providing ample sustenance for the burgeoning herbivore populations. Pterosaurs, the flying reptiles, diversified greatly, soaring through the skies with wingspans that could rival small aircraft, while marine reptiles like ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs dominated the oceans. Crucially, the Jurassic also witnessed the appearance of the first birds, evolving from small feathered theropod dinosaurs, a revolutionary step that would ensure a lineage of dinosaurs would survive far beyond the Mesozoic era. The ecosystems became increasingly complex, with intricate food webs and coevolutionary relationships between plants and animals. The Jurassic was a testament to the power of adaptation and the sheer scale of life that could exist when given the time and resources to flourish a world where the largest creatures to ever walk the earth moved with a slow, deliberate grace, shaping the very landscape with their presence. The Cretaceous period, spanning from about 145 to 66 million years ago, was the final and arguably most diverse chapter in the saga of the dinosaurs. The continents continued their drift, gradually assuming shapes more recognizable to us today. India, famously, was a rogue continent, drifting northwards after breaking away from Gondwana, carrying its own unique cargo of evolving life forms. This fragmentation led to greater regional isolation and, consequently, an explosion of distinct dinosaur species. The climate remained generally warm, but with increasing evidence of seasonal variations and polar ice caps forming towards the very end. The most significant botanical revolution of the Cretaceous was the rise of angiosperms, or flowering plants. These new plants, with their vibrant colors and efficient reproductive strategies, rapidly diversified, fundamentally altering terrestrial ecosystems. They provided new food sources, leading to the evolution of new herbivore groups and, in turn, new predators. This period saw the emergence of some of the most iconic dinosaurs. The mighty Tyrannosaurus rex, with its bone-crushing bite and immense size, dominated the late Cretaceous of North America, a predator of unparalleled power and efficiency. Its prey included the formidable Triceratops, a three-horned ceratopsian with a massive frill for defense, and the heavily armored Ankylosaurus, a living tank impervious to most attacks, wielding a bone club at the end of its tail. Hadrosaurs, or duck-billed dinosaurs, such as Edmontosaurus and Parasaurolophus, became incredibly abundant, often congregating in vast herds, their complex dental batteries perfectly adapted to grinding tough plant matter. Some had elaborate crests, likely used for communication or display. Smaller, more agile predators like the Velociraptor, though much larger and less agile than often depicted in popular culture, hunted in packs, showcasing advanced predatory strategies. Oviraptor, with its distinctive beak, was once thought to be an egg thief, but evidence now suggests it was a devoted parent, often found brooding its own nests. The world was a mosaic of biomes, vast forests, swamps, inland seas, and open plains, each teeming with life. From the nimble, feathered dinosaurs that were increasingly bird-like to the colossal, long-necked titanosaurs that dwarfed even their Jurassic ancestors, the diversity of the Cretaceous was astounding. Dinosaur social structures became more complex, with evidence of communal nesting sites, migratory patterns, and even intricate displays for mating. This was a world humming with life, a vibrant, dynamic tapestry of evolution, where the dinosaurs, in their myriad forms, had perfected the art of living on an epic scale. Their reign seemed unassailable, a testament to millions of years of successful adaptation and ecological dominance. Then came the turning point, the Nyack Mode, a cataclysm that would forever alter the course of life on Earth. Around 66 million years ago, the unassailable reign of the dinosaurs was brought to an abrupt and violent end. It was not a gradual decline, but a sudden, devastating event of cosmic proportions. A colossal asteroid, estimated to be about 10 to 15 kilometers, 6 to 9 miles in diameter, hurtled through space and slammed into the Earth at an unimaginable velocity. The impact site, now known as the Chicxulub crater, lies beneath the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The immediate effects were apocalyptic. An explosion of unimaginable power, equivalent to billions of atomic bombs, vaporized everything within a vast radius. A massive shockwave ripped through the atmosphere, triggering tsunamis hundreds of feet high that scoured coastlines thousands of miles away. Enormous quantities of dust, ash, and superheated rock were ejected into the atmosphere, creating a global firestorm. Forests ignited across the continents, raining down molten debris. But the true devastation came in the aftermath. The ejected material formed a dense cloud that enveloped the entire planet, blocking out the sun for months, perhaps even years. Photosynthesis, the very foundation of most food chains, ceased. Plants withered and died. Herbivores, stripped of their sustenance, starved. Predators, in turn, found their prey disappearing, leading to a cascading collapse of ecosystems worldwide. Acid rain fell from the sky, further poisoning the environment. Temperatures plummeted, plunging the planet into a prolonged period of global winter. The large, specialized dinosaurs, unable to adapt to such rapid and extreme environmental changes, faced an impossible challenge. The very traits that had made them so successful, their size, their specific dietary needs, their long reproductive cycles, now became their undoing. Within a relatively short geological time frame, perhaps just a few thousand years, the non-avian dinosaurs vanished, an entire lineage extinguished, leaving behind a world scarred and silent, awaiting the hesitant emergence of new forms of life. The enduring legacy, the virasat of the dinosaurs, is not merely a collection of fossils in museums. It is woven into the very fabric of our planet as history and continues to shape our understanding of life itself. Their dramatic rise and fall serve as a profound reminder of the dynamic, often unpredictable nature of Earth's ecosystems and the profound impact of global cataclysms. While the non-avian dinosaurs perished, a crucial lineage survived. The avian dinosaurs, what we now call birds. Every sparrow, every eagle, every hummingbird fluttering past our window is a direct descendant of those ancient theropods, a living testament to the resilience and adaptability of life. Their survival, perhaps due to their smaller size, feathered insulation, and ability to exploit new food sources in the post-impact world, paved the way for the incredible avian diversity we see today. The extinction of the non-avian dinosaurs also created an immense ecological vacuum, opening up countless niches that had been occupied for 165 million years. Into this void stepped the mammals, small and often nocturnal creatures that had lived in the shadow of the dinosaurs for millions of years. Liberated from the constant threat of immense predators and with new resources available, mammals underwent a rapid and spectacular adaptive radiation, diversifying into the incredible array of forms that dominate terrestrial ecosystems today, including the primate lineage that would eventually lead to humanity. Thus, in a profound sense, we owe our very existence to the asteroid impact, to the cataclysm that ended the dinosaur age. The study of dinosaurs continues to push the boundaries of paleontology, revealing ever more intricate details about their biology, behavior, and the ancient worlds they inhabited. From the discovery of feathered dinosaurs in China that blur the lines between reptiles and birds, to the ongoing analysis of ancient ecosystems, each new finding adds another brushstroke to the grand portrait of prehistoric life. The dinosaurs stand as a powerful symbol of evolutionary success, resilience, and the humbling impermanence of even the most dominant forms of life, reminding us that our planet has always been and continues to be a stage for stories of unimaginable scale and complexity, long before human eyes ever gazed upon its wonders. Yet, even without human witnesses, the story of their world unfolded with breathtaking complexity and a primal grandeur that still echoes through the fossil record, a silent epic whispered across the ages. To truly grasp the essence of this pre-human Earth is to shed our anthropocentric lens and open our minds to a different rhythm of existence, one dictated by the colossal forces of geology and the relentless dance of evolution. Imagine standing on a Cretaceous floodplain, the air heavy with moisture, buzzing with giant insects. The distant trumpeting call of a Parasaurolophus, its elaborate cranial crest serving as a resonating chamber, carries on the humid breeze. Nearby, a herd of Triceratops grazes placidly, their immense bodies like living fortresses, the formidable frills around their necks providing both defense and perhaps a display of dominance within the herd. Their powerful beaks snip at the low-lying ferns and cycads, their massive teeth grinding the tough vegetation with a sound like distant thunder. Each individual, from the wary matriarch to the playful calf, is a testament to millions of years of adaptation, a living, breathing marvel in a world that demanded strength and ingenuity for survival. The dinosaurs were not monolithic. Their lives were as varied and intricate as the ecosystems they inhabited. Consider the vast sauropods, the gentle giants whose sheer scale defies modern comparison. A young Argentinosaurus, barely a few tons in its youth, would have faced a perilous journey through its early years. Its mother, a creature weighing perhaps 70 or 80 tons, would have laid dozens of eggs in a communal nesting ground, perhaps returning only briefly to ensure their safety before moving on with the herd driven by an instinct for sustenance. The hatchlings, no larger than small dogs, would emerge into a world fraught with danger, prey for nimble predators like the small, agile Noasaurus. Their survival strategy was simply to grow, and grow rapidly, reaching astounding sizes within decades, their immense bulk eventually rendering them immune to all but the largest and most determined predators. Their long necks, sometimes reaching over 50 feet, allowed them to browse on high foliage, accessing a food source beyond the reach of other herbivores, effectively shaping the forest canopy with their prodigious appetites. Their sheer numbers and constant movement helped to clear land, creating open plains and influencing the very distribution of plant life across the continents. The sound of a sauropod herd migrating would have been a force of nature in itself, a deep, resonating hum, the earth trembling under hundreds of tons of living muscle and bone, an unstoppable procession across the ancient landscape. Meanwhile, the skies were not empty. Pterosaurs, often mistakenly called flying dinosaurs, were distinct but equally spectacular archosaurs. From the small, agile Aneurognathus, flitting through the undergrowth like a prehistoric bat, to the truly colossal Quetzalcoatlus, with a wingspan of up to 36 feet, the largest flying animal ever known, These creatures owned the air. Imagine the majestic sight of a Quetzalcoatlus soaring silently on thermal currents, its immense shadow sweeping across the landscape below, its long, pointed beak poised to snatch a fish from a river or scavenge a carcass. Their bones were hollow, their bodies remarkably light yet strong, a masterpiece of natural engineering. They nested on cliffs, their young vulnerable to aerial predators and opportunistic ground dwellers. Their lives were a constant ballet of wind and gravity, a mastery of a dimension that most dinosaurs could only gaze up at. The oceans, too, teemed with life ruled by formidable marine reptiles, the sleek, dolphin-like ichthyosaurs cutting through waves with incredible speed, the long-necked plesiosaurs paddling with four powerful flippers, and the truly terrifying mosasaurs. Immense serpentine predators that could grow up to 60 feet long, their jaws capable of crushing the shells of ammonites or tearing apart other marine reptiles. These were not dinosaurs, but their reign was concurrent. A parallel empire of apex predators dominating the vast ancient seas, reminding us that the Mesozoic was a multifaceted world of giants in every realm. The intricate dance of predator and prey was a constant, defining feature of the dinosaur age. Consider a pack of dromaeosaurids, often colloquially known as raptors, though the true Velociraptor was far from the oversized movie monster. These were intelligent, agile hunters, perhaps the most cunning of all theropods. Picture a group of Deinonychus, roughly the size of a modern wolf but far more powerful, with sickle claws on their feet and keen binocular vision. They move through the dense undergrowth of a late Cretaceous forest, their feathered bodies blending with the dappled light. Their target, a young Tenontosaurus, a medium-sized herbivore separated from its herd. The lead Deinonychus communicates with soft chirps and guttural calls, signaling its packmates. They encircle their prey, not relying on brute force, but on coordinated ambush and relentless harassment. One might feign an attack, drawing the Tenontosaurus's attention, while another moves in from the flank, aiming for the vulnerable underbelly or hind legs. Their powerful jaws clamp down, their sharp teeth tearing flesh, while the infamous sickle claws deliver deep, incapacitating wounds. It is a brutal, efficient display of cooperative hunting, a testament to their evolved intelligence and the harsh realities of survival. This wasn't merely instinct, it was complex behavior, honed over millions of years, involving observation, planning, and communication. The evolution of plants played an equally critical, though often overlooked, role in shaping the dinosaur world. The Triassic and Jurassic were dominated by gymnosperms, conifers, cycads, and ginkgos, plants whose seeds are not enclosed within an ovary. These provided a steady, if not always easy, source of food for the early herbivores. But the Cretaceous saw a botanical revolution with the rise of angiosperms, the flowering plants. Suddenly, the landscape was bursting with new colors, new scents, and new forms. These plants, with their enclosed seeds, often protected by fruits, offered a more nutritious and digestible food source. They also evolved complex relationships with insects for pollination, leading to a coevolutionary explosion of both plant and insect diversity. This shift profoundly influenced the evolution of herbivorous dinosaurs. The hadrosaurs, the duck-billed dinosaurs, with their hundreds of self-replacing teeth arranged in grinding batteries, were perfectly adapted to process this new, tougher, yet more nutrient-rich vegetation. Their ability to chew their food more thoroughly allowed for greater energy extraction, fueling their large bodies and supporting vast populations. The rise of flowering plants also created new habitats, denser forests, and more varied landscapes, further contributing to the incredible dinosaur diversity seen in the late Cretaceous. The scientific journey to uncover this lost world is itself an epic narrative, one that began long after the dinosaurs' demise. The first fossilized bones were often misinterpreted, seen as the remains of dragons, giants, or mythical beasts. It wasn't until the early 19th century, with figures like William Buckland and Gideon Mantell in England, that a systematic understanding began to emerge. Mantell, a physician, and his wife Mary Ann discovered the teeth of Iguanodon in 1822, recognizing their reptilian yet distinct nature. Sir Richard Owen, a brilliant but controversial anatomist, coined the term Dinosauria in 1842, meaning terrible lizards, to describe these magnificent extinct reptiles. This marked the birth of paleontology as a distinct scientific discipline. The Bone Wars of the late 19th century in America, a fierce and often unscrupulous rivalry between paleontologists Edward Drinker Cope and Othniel Charles Marsh, led to the discovery of hundreds of new species across the American West, including iconic names like Triceratops, Stegosaurus, and Brontosaurus, now Apatosaurus. These discoveries captivated the public imagination, transforming these ancient creatures from mere bones into vivid, albeit often inaccurate, monsters in the popular consciousness. The quest for understanding continues unabated, fueled by new technologies and a deeper appreciation for the ancient world. Modern paleontology is not just about digging up bones. It is a multidisciplinary science. Sophisticated imaging techniques allow scientists to peer inside fossils without damaging them, revealing brain structures, muscle attachments, and even the internal architecture of bones. Geochemists analyze isotopes in ancient soils and teeth to reconstruct diets and climates. Biomechanics experts model dinosaur locomotion and bite forces, bringing these creatures to life in virtual simulations. The discovery of feathered dinosaurs in China in the late 20th century revolutionized our understanding, confirming the direct lineage between dinosaurs and birds, and painting a far more vibrant feathered picture of many theropods than previously imagined. These findings transformed our perception from sluggish, cold-blooded reptiles to active, warm-blooded, and often brightly colored animals, capable of complex behaviors. Each new fossil, each new technique, adds another piece to the immense, sprawling jigsaw puzzle of the Mesozoic era. The story of dinosaurs, therefore, is far from untold. It is a story continuously being revealed, piece by painstaking piece, by generations of dedicated scientists. It is a story that compels us to look beyond our own brief moment in geological time and consider the vastness of life's journey. It informs our understanding of evolution, demonstrating the incredible power of natural selection to sculpt life into an astonishing array of forms. It provides crucial insights into extinction events, serving as a stark reminder of the planet's vulnerability to cosmic forces and rapid environmental change, lessons that resonate deeply in our own era of ecological concern. The dinosaurs, in their magnificent reign and sudden departure, offer a profound reflection on the impermanence of even the most dominant species and the relentless march of geological time. They remind us that Earth is a planet of profound transformations, where life adapts, thrives, and at times is dramatically reshaped. Their legacy is not just in the birds that sing in our trees or the oil that fuels our industries, but in the enduring fascination they inspire, a primal wonder at the sheer majesty and terrifying beauty of a world that existed long before us, a world that belonged entirely to them, and whose echoes still reverberate across millions of years, shaping the very ground upon which we stand. And so, the untold story of the dinosaurs, once locked away in the silent strata of the earth, now speaks to us with a profound eloquence. Their colossal footprints, etched into stone across every continent, are not just relics of a forgotten age, but indelible imprints of a grand, vibrant epoch when life, in its most magnificent and terrifying forms, held absolute sway. They stand as an enduring testament to the breathtaking power of evolution, the relentless march of geological time, and the ultimate fragility of even the most dominant reigns. Though their roars have long faded into the deep silence of prehistory, and their immense forms exist only as shadows in our imagination, the dinosaurs continue to shape our understanding of life itself. A humbling reminder that our human story is but a fleeting whisper in the vast cosmic epic of a planet that has always and will continue to write its own magnificent, terrifying, and utterly compelling narrative.